So another PSA today, I had a subscriber and a member email me about a potentially really concerning and I think big red flag deal that was offered to her by a quote unquote library. I don't even want to put this company in that category because what they're doing sounds extremely suspicious and unethical. And I definitely wanted to make sure you guys are aware of what these deals might look like and that you should know that these are not normal and these are not, for me, acceptable, and they're not necessary. And I know that it's most production music libraries are not going to do this, so I'm definitely not trying to paint those companies with a broad brush. This is a small minority, but I've heard of these things from time to time. They pop up, but this is one in particular that really got under my skin. I'm really glad that this member shared it with me, and I felt like just an obligation to share this with you guys. Okay, so this is what she was actually letting me know. That she just turned down a deal where a library owner wanted her to be exclusive to the company, but wanted to give her just $50 a track and no back-end royalties at all. So essentially a work for hire to say, hey, you just send me some music. I'll do the mixing, I'll do the mastering, I'll create all the stems. I give you $50 and then I'll keep the writer's share. That's basically what the deal was. And in order for her to earn her writer's share, he would put her through a boot camp to develop her, to get her up to speed with their standards as a library so that then she could start earning those royalties on the back end. Hide your kids, okay? Bullshit. That's all bullshit, okay? A legitimate library would never do that to you. A legitimate library, if they feel that you're not ready, would say, thank you for submitting. We don't feel your tracks are ready for us or right for us, or they might be really polite about it, or they might not respond at all. But a legitimate library is not going to say, we're going to take ownership of your tracks. They're good enough for us to take ownership of it. We'll fix them up with our mixing. And we're going to keep all of your writer share for the privilege, for all the work that we did to get your tracks up to snuff. And then once you sort of pass through our boot camp, then we'll grant you your writer share. I don't like that at all. I think that's extremely predatory. I think that also immediately puts the library owner in this kind of heavy hitting, not heavy hitting, but like a power discrepancy, like immediately, almost like in a way it's psychological, abuse, because basically what it's saying is like, you're not good enough to earn your royalties. We're going to help you get to good enough to, and we decide, by the way, that's the other thing, that's the big trick here. It's the library owner who gets to decide when you're ready. So if you're working with this company and you're making your $50 a track and thinking, wow, at least somebody's paying me for my music. It's 6 months, a year down. Like, well, am I ready yet? Do you think this is ready? Oh no, you still got a little bit of work to do. You're not through our boot camp yet, right? Almost there. Boy, I just really, my heart goes out to any of these producers that get caught up in these kind of ridiculous situations, because this is one of the reasons why people get a really sour taste in their mouth about sync licensing. It's stuff like this. And it also reminded me, there was another situation I'd heard. This is like previous, kind of in the middle of last year, where a production music library owner started creating he called it like an apprentice program, where he was charging his writers, some sort of a fee to coach them, to get them on board, to be ready for his label. And I'm sorry, I just find a whole bunch of problems with that. Every library that I've ever worked with and that I've communicated with through Sync Connect and through Sync Up and through all the stuff we've done, they're not going to charge you to help get your music up to par. Like if they feel like you've got a really good, solid group of tracks and you've got a lot of talent, like they're going to work with you to develop that and get it up to par for their own benefit, because they want those tracks in their catalog and they feel they can monetize them and do well, and they want to be sort of your partner in this business. So that's part of their job description, is to make sure, give you some feedback, give you some revision notes, and make sure your tracks are ready to go at the level for their clients. So if they're now going, well, we're going to start charging you for for our revisions and for us making sure that your tracks are ready for our catalog, I get a little suspicious about that, because I think a library's job should be focused only on trying to get TV and film placements. That's where all their focus should be on. If they start looking a little bit more towards their composers and writers as a source of revenue, boy, like I'll tell you this, like if I worked with a library and they didn't have that business model, and all they were doing was trying to get us placements, and that's really what their primary bread and butter was. And all of a sudden, they start this new business venture where they're trying to charge new composers and producers, some fee, some apprentice fee, to get them on board. I would go, shouldn't you be busy enough getting new placements for us? Like, now your time's going to be split between getting us placements and charging people like me to get into your catalog. I'm a little bit concerned that you've taken your finger off the ball, and you're not focused on the prize anymore. You're not focused on what your core business should be anymore. So I would personally be probably bailing out of a company who's now lost their focus in terms of what are you doing here? You're a production music library. You should be out there looking into the marketplace to get us placements, not turning back to us and saying, well, we're going to, start monetizing you guys, right? Or charging you guys to get into our catalog. So I just want to let you guys know that these are deals that are out there, unfortunately. And again, they're far and few between. Most companies you come across aren't going to do that. I guess the last one that I'll round this video off with, also had one more subscriber recently let me know that there was a library that he had approached, and they were right off the bat saying, we have to take 50% of your writer share. And he said, that's not cool. Why are you doing that? Like, this isn't like a specific deal to get a placement with some network or something like that. This is just to get into your catalog. Why are you cutting in? And their answer, I think, was also a little bit of BS, which I was really disheartened to hear. But they said, well, these days, a lot of libraries are not taking as many upfront, either blanket or sync fees. So we have to kind of make ends meet by cutting in a little bit more into the writer share. And also some of our deals, we lose some of our publisher share. So this is the only way that we can really make it work anymore. And I just kind of call BS on that as well, because I know a lot of libraries who don't do much, if any, upfront fees. They don't charge blanket fees. They really don't charge sync fees at all. In fact, I know a few that we've talked to through Sync Connect. That's their primary business model, and they 100% rely on the back end with publishing and writing, and they do not cut into their writers' writer share at all, their composers' writer share. They just keep their publisher share. They allow their composers and producers to keep their writer share, and they split it 50-50, and they're still able to remain in business, and they can grow, and they can get placements. So these kinds of weird business deals are just out there. And because there isn't a lot of awareness about our side of the business, I mean, I think my channel definitely does a good amount of work trying to help you guys be aware of this stuff. Hopefully a video like this does. Because there's not a lot of awareness, a lot of composers and producers get caught up in the trap. And if you have been caught up with one of these situations or deals, and now you're watching this video going, oh my gosh, I wish I had seen this video before I signed with that company. I'm sorry, really, really, my heart goes out to you. That really sucks. And I'm sorry that we couldn't help you out before you got involved with it. But now you know you should be getting 100% of your writer share when you get into a library. Unless you co-wrote with somebody else, you split those writers, that's a fair right. But if a CEO is saying we're going to charge you to be a part of our company, we're going to take your writer share or 50% of your writer share to get into our company, I still don't think that flies. I don't think we're at a point in our industry where it's that bad, where you have to kind of justify, all right, well, I'll take a 50% pay cut just to get into this industry. There's plenty of healthy libraries out there that still allow you to keep your 100% of your writer share. So word to the wise, if you guys have any other horror stories or interesting things, you think I should make them aware, make our community aware of them, post them below. Please share them. I'll be happy to either have you on as a guest if you want to talk about it. If not, I can keep you anonymous, and I can make a separate video just kind of talking about it. You can also just email me, jesse@syncmymusic.com. You guys are the ones that are sort of keeping me informed about all the craziness that's going out there on the business. So let's look out for each other. Let's make sure we're keeping each other updated and informed. And so we are not getting taken advantage of, and we're kind of looking out for each other's backs. That's kind of what this community is really all about. So hopefully you found this helpful.